If you're a Canadian senior planning to travel in 2026, one expired passport detail could cancel your trip instantly. No refund, no appeal, no second chance. This is already happening, and most seniors don't see it coming. Stay with me, because what I'm about to explain could save you thousands of dollars and prevent a nightmare at the airport. Why this video matters right now. Every year, thousands of Canadian seniors are denied boarding, delayed, or forced to cancel travel. Not because of health issues, not because of visas, but because of passport rules they didn't know had changed. In 2026, Canada and international travel partners are enforcing stricter passport validation rules, digital travel checks, and non-negotiable airline compliance systems. This is not about fear. This is about avoiding preventable mistakes. By the end of this video, you will know what rules have changed, why seniors are most affected, which trips are most at risk, what you must do before booking anything, how to protect yourself, step by step. The biggest myth Canadian seniors believe. Let's start with the most dangerous misunderstanding. Many seniors believe, as long as my passport is valid on the day I travel, I'm fine. That rule is dead in 2026. Most countries now require your Canadian passport to be valid for at least 6 months after your return date, not your departure date. This means you can have a valid passport, you can have a paid ticket, you can still be denied boarding, and airlines will not refund you. Why 2026 is different from previous years comes down to one critical shift. Travel rules are no longer enforced by people. They're enforced by systems. Many seniors say, "I've traveled like this for years and never had a problem." And that's exactly why 2026 catches so many off guard. In the past, airline staff had some flexibility, and rules were checked manually. In 2026, 3 major changes are fully active at the same time: automated airline passport scans, stricter enforcement by international border authorities, and the complete removal of human discretion at the airport. When your passport is scanned, airline systems instantly compare your expiration date, destination rules, and transit country requirements in real time. If anything does not match perfectly, the system automatically blocks boarding. The airline agent cannot override it, cannot make an exception, and cannot help, even if they sympathize with your situation. There is no arguing, no explaining your travel history, and no special consideration for age. The decision is final, and the trip ends before it begins. Canadian seniors are among the most at risk of travel disruptions in 2026 because many hold passports that were issued years ago and are now close to expiration without realizing how strict the new rules have become. Unlike frequent travelers, seniors often travel internationally less often, which makes it easy to assume that the rules haven't changed since their last trip, when in reality, they have tightened significantly. On top of that, passport renewals now take longer than many expect, especially during peak travel seasons, leaving little room for last-minute fixes. Seniors are also more likely to travel in organized groups or on cruises, where deadlines are firm, and a single passport issue can mean missing the entire trip with no refund. If even one of these situations sounds familiar, this information is meant for you and could prevent serious travel problems. The 6-month passport rule is one of the most common reasons Canadian seniors are denied boarding in 2026, because it requires your passport to remain valid for at least 6 full months after your return date, not your departure date, and many travelers mistakenly check only the start of their trip. For instance, if your trip ends on October 1st, 2026, most countries will require your passport to be valid until at least April 1st, 2027, and if it expires even slightly earlier, such as in March 2027, airlines are required to stop you from boarding, even if your passport is technically still valid on travel day. This rule is enforced across most European countries, including those in the Schengen area, as well as many destinations in Asia, South America, and the Caribbean, and it can also apply to countries you only transit through for a connecting flight. Even if you never leave the airport or pass through immigration, In 2026, airline systems automatically check passport expiration against destination and transit rules, leaving no room for exceptions, explanations, or discretion at the airport, which is why seniors are strongly advised to treat any passport expiring within the next 12 months as urgent and renew it well before booking international travel to avoid losing flights, cruises, hotel reservations, and thousands of dollars in non-refundable expenses. Here's a danger that catches many Canadian seniors completely off guard, and it has nothing to do with your final destination. Most people only check the passport rules of the country they're visiting, but they forget about transit countries, the places where you stop or change planes. Even if your destination allows shorter passport validity, the country you pass through may require your passport to be valid for 6 months or more beyond your return date. This applies when flying through Europe, connecting through the UK, or transiting the United States, even if you never leave the airport. Immigration and airline systems still scan your passport and apply their rules. If your passport doesn't meet those transit requirements, you can be denied boarding at your original airport or stopped during your connection, and your entire trip can be canceled on the spot. No refunds, no exceptions, and no way to fix it last minute. Cruises are one of the most misunderstood and riskiest types of travel for Canadian seniors in 2026. Because many people assume that since the ship departs from and returns to Canada, passport rules will be relaxed. But the reality is exactly the opposite. Cruise lines now follow strict international aviation level compliance, meaning your passport is checked not just for Canada, but for every single country the ship may enter, stop at, or even pass near in an emergency. This includes verifying that your passport meets 6-month validity rules, matches country-specific entry requirements, and is acceptable for medical or emergency disembarkation at any port along the route. If your passport fails any one of these checks, the cruise line has the legal authority to deny boarding on the spot with no refunds, even if the ship is scheduled to return to Canada. In 2026, cruise staff no longer have flexibility or discretion. Their systems decide. And many seniors only discover this at the terminal, when it's already too late to fix. Passport renewal delays in 2026 are a serious issue that every Canadian senior must take seriously. Demand for passport renewals remains extremely high as more people return to international travel, and government processing systems are still under heavy pressure. This means delays are not occasional, they are common. Standard processing times can easily stretch to 6 or 8 weeks, and during peak travel seasons such as spring and summer, delays can go even longer without warning. Many seniors assume they can rely on expedited or urgent services, but in 2026 these options are not guaranteed and may be limited or temporarily unavailable due to backlogs. The most costly mistake seniors make is waiting until the last minute, only to discover their passport will not arrive in time, forcing trip cancellations, lost deposits, and unnecessary stress. Renewing early is no longer optional. It is the safest and smartest way to protect your travel plans. The golden rule for Canadian seniors. If your passport expires within the next 12 months, treat it as urgent. Do not wait. Do not assume. Do not gamble. Early renewal. Peace of mind. In 2026, international travel has entered a zero flexibility era because border and airline decisions are now controlled almost entirely by automated digital systems, not human judgment. The moment your passport is scanned at check-in or at a self-service kiosk, advanced systems instantly analyze multiple factors at the same time. They verify your passport's expiration date against destination and transit country rules, compare your full legal name with your ticket down to spelling and spacing, detect physical damage or unreadable chips, and confirm whether your passport meets every entry requirement set by immigration authorities. If even one detail fails, the system automatically blocks boarding authorization. At that point, airline staff have no authority to override the decision, no matter how close your expiration date is, how long you've been traveling, or how reasonable your explanation sounds. Once flagged, the answer is immediate and final. No appeal at the airport, no manual exception, and no second chance, making preparation before travel more critical than ever. Realistic scenarios that already happen: seniors arriving at a busy airport after months of anticipation, luggage in hand and boarding passes ready, only to be stopped abruptly at the gate. "You can't board," the airline agent says, and their hearts sink. They discover, sometimes at the last moment, that their passport doesn't meet the latest travel requirements. Maybe it's expired, missing pages, or doesn't have the necessary validity beyond the travel date. Panic sets in as they're told, "You'll need to rebook after renewal," leaving them stranded in a crowded terminal. What follows is a chain reaction of losses. Flights are missed, prepaid hotel reservations vanish, and meticulously planned cruises sail without them. The frustration, stress, and disappointment are immense, especially when all of it could have been avoided with timely preparation, awareness of rules, and proper documentation. These scenarios are not hypothetical. They happen to real people, and far too often. What to do before booking any trip? Before you even think about paying for flights, hotels, or tours, there are a few critical steps you must take to avoid unnecessary stress, financial loss, or even being denied entry. First, check your passport's expiration date carefully. Many countries require that your passport be valid for at least 6 months beyond your planned return date, not just the date of departure, so make sure to add that buffer when verifying. Next, research the entry requirements for every country you plan to visit. Some may require visas, vaccinations, or other documentation. Don't forget to check the rules for any transit countries too, as even a short layover can have its own restrictions. If there's any doubt about your passport validity or visa eligibility, renew your passport or apply for necessary visas well in advance. Last-minute renewals can be costly, stressful, and may even ruin your travel plans. Following this simple but essential checklist doesn't just save money, it also spares you from emotional stress, travel disruptions, or worse, being turned away at the airport. Taking these precautions ensures a smoother, safer, and truly enjoyable travel experience from the very start. Domestic versus international travel. Domestic travel within Canada does not require a passport, but international connections often do. Never assume domestic rules apply globally. Name mismatches and damaged passports. Small issues now cause big problems. Examples: middle name missing, married name mismatch, water damage, torn pages. These are now reasons for denial. Most travelers don't realize this, but airlines are not obligated to inform you of every rule, restriction, or hidden policy that could affect your journey. They operate under the assumption that passengers are fully aware of all regulations, from ticket conditions to boarding procedures, which is rarely the case. Domestic vs. international travel. Domestic travel within Canada does not require a passport, but international connections often do. Never assume domestic rules apply globally. Name mismatches and damaged passports. Small issues now cause big problems. Examples: middle name missing, married name mismatch, water damage, torn pages SE. This means the full responsibility for avoiding costly mistakes, missed flights, or denied boarding falls squarely on your shoulders. Final warning for Canadian seniors. Travel in 2026 is stricter than ever, with tighter rules and less room for error. But it doesn't have to be stressful. Being proactive is your best defense. Check your travel documents early, renew necessary IDs or permits without delay, and verify all airline policies before you even step foot in the airport. Taking just this one step ensures you protect your money, save valuable time, and maintain peace of mind, turning what could be a stressful ordeal into a smooth, worry-free journey. If you know a senior planning travel in 2026, share this video with them today. This information could save their trip. Comment below, are you traveling internationally in 2026? Stay informed, stay prepared, safe travels.